The suspect has been identified in the DC shooting. I want to talk with you guys about this in an honest way because I'll promise you, right now tensions are very high in USA, and depending on which outlet you watch, they're all going to say one thing or they're all going to say something else. And I want to try to go over everything as best I can. This is right here. Suspect in DC National Guard shooting identified as 29-year-old Afghan national. Here's what we know. Okay. You also have this: U.S. suspends immigration requests for Afghans after a National Guard shooting. So what it boils down to right now, the Trump and his people, they're going to blame everything on immigrants. They're already doing it already. They've been doing it before, right? That's going to be their dialogue. And then, of course, they're going to bring up Biden. This is just the reality of it. It looks like the person got asylum, said applied for it in 2024, was it granted under the Trump people in 2025, right? So earlier this year, it says right here, 29 years old. They came in under Operation Allies Welcome. That was in 2021. That would be under Biden. So if you want to look at all the facts, this is what it is, right? That's why I have to show you both the stuff, because depending on which outlet you watch, they will only show you one of those two things. Just be honest about the stuff, what's going on. Also be honest about what were the troops doing there in the first place, right? The judge had ordered them, said, hey, this is unlawful. Judge orders an end to Trump's troop deployment in D.C., calling it unlawful. That was just a couple days ago. And so now we have a shooting, and Trump's now going to be ordering yet more troops in. This becomes an important part of, like, okay, let's be honest about this stuff. Right now, we don't know motive. I've read through everything, looked at everything. We don't know motive. They're saying lone gunman, right? So no other people. So if there's just like one person does a shooting, why, and that person's already been detained, now we need to bring in 500 National Guard troops. That's just unnecessary, right? It's obvious to anyone, but you know, again, it depends which outlet you watch. If you're watching Trump stuff nonstop, oh yeah, got to do all these things really hurry. It's a big terrorist threat, whatever they're gonna say. Laura Loomer, and I'm showing you guys this stuff because I want you to see what they're saying. They're saying, oh, well, we definitely need to profile people. That's literally what she's saying. Profiling keeps you safe. The biggest mistake made after 9/11 was some people in the GOP listened to calls for more unity and calls for less profiling. I want national security, immigration policies that openly discriminate against Islam. So she's literally saying, let's be racist here. I see right here, discriminate against Islam, right? Keep profiling. Good idea. Keep profiling, right? Then they're going to shut down immigration. That's their whole plan here. All this stuff is basically just to get people fighting with each other, right? And you're going to be scapegoating and blaming whoever. Miller then goes on TV. It's like, look it's all the immigrants' fault, right? That's literally what they're saying here. I mean, if you want to watch Fox News nonstop, you can. I'm bringing this stuff up because this is where most Americans don't want to have honest conversations about this stuff. And it's frustrating because it goes back to the same thing you always talk about in USA, right? Visualizing how mass shootings in 2025 compared to in past years. This is actually the typical year in USA. There's a lot of people who get shot in USA. That is the reality. And if we're so concerned about this stuff, right, this is why it becomes a bunch of nonsense over at Fox News and Trump. Like this year, 1 year, says a summary of gun violence archives, right, 2025. As of November 25th, 2025, there have been 378 mass shootings in USA. 378 mass shootings in USA. I'm bringing this up because if you're honest and serious about protecting the populace, shouldn't we get upset? Like out of 300, that's more than one a day. We're not even finished with the year. 378 mass shootings, do you think all these people are Afghans? Is that even possible? You already know the answer. It's not. And that's just mass shootings. If you want to just talk about homicides in general, and they put this as homicides and unintentional gun deaths, so just gun deaths as a whole. 13,338, right? And I want to hear from people outside the USA. Do you have this many deaths in your countries, be it UK, Canada, right? Australia? Just share. In Germany, do you have this many? And this is just this week, right? November 24th, there was a death, 3 injuries. November 23rd, there were a couple incidents, 1 death, another one, 2 deaths, 6 injuries. This is Union City, Tennessee, Texas, Arizona, Texas, Illinois, Florida, Kansas, New Jersey, New Mexico, Mississippi. I'm showing you guys this stuff because the Fox is going to endlessly say it's all the immigrants' fault. It's all the immigrants' fault. It's like, and anyone can Google this. Please do. I encourage you to please do. Just learn the truth about this stuff. Look at all these shootings. You can find different charts in this stuff. You're going to get different info. This is saying between 82 to 2025. 84% of or number of incidents, not percent, number of incidents, right? But it looks like, because I have a percentage in a different one, but you have white, black, Latino, Asian, Native American, unclear. You can see who does the most. It's literally right there. Percentages here, white, approximately 52 to 55% of mass shooters are white, according to various studies. Black, 21 to 20%, something like that. Hispanic, Latino, 8 to 9%. Asian, 5 to 6%. So these are just numbers, right? I'm fine talking about numbers. I'm fine talking about this stuff. Unfortunately, in USA, people don't actually want to look at these kind of numbers. It doesn't fit their narrative, especially at Fox News. Because remember, they're going to try to blame immigrants all day, every day. The other thing too is I was looking at this stuff. They tend to be male, which I think we already know that, and they tend to be younger, like 20 to 30, and something like that. Sometimes a little bit older, sometimes a little younger, but that's just the general profile of the shooters. I'm just showing you this stuff. This is where this stuff happens, right? And I understand. I totally understand, guys. You watch Fox News all day, and I have to bring that up because this is sort of why we get trapped in this Trumpy world. You get so tunnel vision that it has to be a certain kind of person, and it has to profile a certain kind of way, and then you amplify that, and then basically you ignore all the other mass shootings this year, and then suddenly you get the one that makes sense to you, and then you bring in 500 National Guard, which doesn't add up, right? Because theoretically, shouldn't we bring 500 National Guard like every state if that's your goal here? How do you explain all these other shootings in various states? It's an honest question. Like, how do you explain all this other stuff if it's always someone from Afghanistan? And I don't defend the person that's the shooter. Not at all. Certainly arrest the person, throw the book at them completely. I completely understand, right? Follow the law, uphold the law. And the thing that's so frustrating about it when you talk about the stuff like from the Trumpy camp, they say, anyone who doesn't agree with us, they just hate the law. And it's like what are you talking about? Like, your average person in any country in the world just wants their family to be safe. They want their kids to be safe. I think that's a pretty fair assessment on that, right? And so I don't justify any shootings by anyone at any time. I don't like any of this stuff. I don't want to put more people in the harm's way. I don't want to rile up more violence, but that's essentially what Trump's doing. It's instigating every day. Like, you can look at his language, you can look at all of his people, and that's what the language is all going to be now is anti-immigrant, basically. It is what it is. I take this stuff personally. If you guys don't know, I have to mention it because it matters. I came to the USA after the Vietnam War. I'm a refugee. And so then if you start classifying, okay, everyone from Afghanistan who are refugees, they're all bad people, then I guess I'm a bad person too. I guess so, right? But that doesn't match. That doesn't match with the statistics and the numbers that I see. It doesn't. I like literally this, and I have to point this out. 378 mass shootings this year. Are they all done by people who are immigrants? The simple question. You already know the answer. It's clearly totally not, right? It's just, and then they're going to use whatever excuse they can to send in the military more, and then Trump's going to try to do whatever he can to. It is real. Let's be honest with you. He's going to try to do whatever he can to play with the elections in his favor or whatever. It is really a mess right now in USA. It's really ugly. Just being frank with you guys. If you watch any of the more left-leaning channels, they're going to incite things more. It's frustrating. That's why I'm very sensitive about this stuff. I don't think, that's why I have to say it very clearly. It doesn't matter, which state you live in. It doesn't matter, which side of the aisle you're in. People want to protect their families, keep everyone safe, and I don't think any of us want violence, right? And yeah, people get mad and say, "Oh, Chris, you're so dumb. You're so dumb, Chris. You need to say that the other side's evil and they're all bad." Just think about that kind of discussion. I want you to just take a bit back, right? Guys, I'm upset too. Do I like talking about this stuff? No, I generally, this is not the focus of my channel, talk about shooting every day. And I could, if I want to. There's 378 mass shootings in USA this year. Do I want to talk about it every day? No, I don't. Do I want to talk about this? Trump sending in more troops? No, of course not. It's going to get worse. I'm being frank with you guys. And it's frustrating. You see the reports of Trump's, failing health. It's obvious. It's obvious to anyone around. You can see it, all the uncommon people around him, And what we need right now, you need leaders that unify people, that calm the tensions, not try to ratchet stuff up. And then, it's frustrating because, I try my best, guys, to make the world a better place. Did you try, And what do you do? What do you do in USA? They actively want to destroy education so that people don't have any critical thinking skills. The Trump people want to paint, Charlie Kirk as being, he was honest. He want to have conversations. It's like, Are you for real? Anyone who watches stuff, you know, it's just people yelling. And then if I tell you the truth about, say, the other side, because, right, people say, you know, oh, Chris, you're so dumb. It's only the right. It's just not true. You look at a whole bunch of channels out there, and it's just like nonstop fighting. That's all it is. Most of the mainstream media on YouTube or you know, on TV, it's just they put people and they fight. No one's really that qualified to talk about that stuff. It's just fighting, and they just have talking points memorized. So no one's really interested in having a real conversation. Their party or whatever just gives them a list. Okay, you make sure you got to say these stupid points or whatever, and you say that. And some of it might be true, some might be half truths. If the other side says something that's somewhat true, you just yell and scream some more. A real conversation is like, hey, you know what? Look at this. Trump wants to send 500 troops. I just tell you what's going on. Hey, look at this. And this is, to me, this is the biggest and most important number right here. 378 mass shootings in USA. Or you could talk about, you know, 13,338 homicides and unintentional gun deaths. Like these numbers are huge. And this is just this week, like all these other shootings happening in USA. November 15th, I don't know what was going on that day. I can see 4 shootings right here, right? I mean, 5 injuries, another one, 3 deaths, 2 injuries, another one, 1 death, 3 injuries. Another one, you know, that was in Mississippi, 5 injuries, and the list goes on, and you can see who's doing said things, right? It's obvious, but, you know, it's all public information, this stuff, if you actually want to look. And it's like, I think people just want to put their heads in the sand. It's been like this for years. And so why does this keep going? Why does this keep going? You destroy education. People can't focus on anything, right? Because basically how this works, and I tell you the truth, on YouTube, if you're like, okay, I really just want to see all the details about the person from Afghanistan. If you stop talking about that, click, you're off. I'll go look at someone else who wants it. And then, or I just really want to hear how much you hate Trump. And if you don't talk about that, I click, I go watch someone else who hates Trump even more. Or if you're on the other side, oh, I really hate Biden. I want to see that nonstop. I want to hate Biden nonstop, right? No one actually wants to learn anything. And that's why things are the way that they are. So, you know, I try my best to tell people the truth on this stuff. And it's very, very tough. It's very, very tough in today's modern society because people are so locked into their mindset. And guys, I do see this. I do. There is a fire right now in Hong Kong. I know Americans don't care. I know. I already know. But I do want to show you in it because I do think it matters because I care about everybody. I've been to Hong Kong several times. I know where this is. There's 55 people have passed away. It's multiple people are missing. I think it's like 270 some are missing. Many more went to the hospital. It's a serious thing. And in something like this, for example, I just want to know the truth. What caused the fire? What's going on? And have an honest conversation about it if you do care about people, right? And I'm sure it's the same with any incident, right? There'll be some sort of cover up or whatever, because if someone powerful is implicated, whatever, who knows? I really don't know the situation until we find out. In this situation, we ID'd the shooter. Sure, I can see what it is, right? They should be punished for whatever, right? I don't disagree with that. I just want to have an honest conversation, and I also want to be preventative, not just reactive. And this right here, I think it's obvious that Trump just wants to militarize everything. So, you know, I'm sure there's Trumpers out there who's like, oh yeah, send the military everywhere. I'm sure they're going to say that. I'm sure they're going to blame immigrants. They'll just ignore all the numbers I just showed you. And for Trumpers, I'm just curious, what do you think? I mean, don't you find this a problem? 378 mass shootings in USA. Am I saying anything crazy? Or what do you think about these kind of numbers that show you the demographics of it, right? So it is what it is. That's my thoughts on this, and I'll catch you next video.